Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Australian Reptile Park, and welcome back to another live stream. You're all at home in your house, but we're still here. We're still looking after our beautiful animals, and we're actually going to feed a very special animal for you here on this live stream. In fact, I am of course talking about the superstar of the reptile park, and that is absolutely not Dan, that's Elvis. Elvis is sitting in the water in front of us here, but Dan is going to be doing the feeding for you here today, or I should say Zookeeper Dan. Zookeeper_Dan, got to get that Instagram right. He loves the followers, and I can almost guarantee that if Elvis were to have his own Instagram account, he would have even more followers than Dan. I think he's a bit more handsome. The ladies might disagree. Now Dan's going to start to move Elvis around a little bit, and as he does, you'll notice Elvis is going to be very reactive. Dan's got that stick, and you'll notice he's creating those tiny vibrations on the surface of the water. Now, Elvis is a saltwater crocodile. They are the world's largest living species of reptile, and of course the largest living species of crocodilian. And all crocodilians are incredibly sensitive. They have tiny pressure receptors right along their body. In the case of the saltwater crocodile, they're like tiny dots. You'll see them most prominent on the snout or the jaw. And they allow Elvis to pick up on those tiny vibrations that Dan is creating with that stick. And he's going to go straight to where that commotion is happening. Now we're going to do another lap. Dan will bring him around and then he'll bring him back. And whilst we're doing that, I am going to tell you a little bit about Elvis specifically. A lot of people ask us how long he is, and he is a very large male saltwater croc. We know he's a male because you'll never ever see a female the size of him. A female would get to maybe 3.5 meters. Elvis, he's nearly 5. He comes in at about 4.6 meters. And he maybe weighs up to 500 kilos. He's certainly a very big boy. But what we don't know is how old Elvis is. We do celebrate his birthday every year, but when we're telling you his age, it's a bit of a guess because he is a wild caught crocodile. Elvis was caught up in Darwin Harbour back in the early 2000s, so going back 20 or so years. And he was removed from his environment and he was placed into a crocodile farm, as a lot of those rogue or nuisance crocodiles, as they call them, end up. That's where they typically, finish up, in the croc farm. But fortunately for Elvis, he was actually able to come down to us here at the reptile park after spending a short period at that farm, and he's been living here ever since. He arrived here at the reptile park in about 2007. So he's been here quite a long time now, and as I mentioned right at the start of the video, he is a true superstar here at the reptile park. When we are able to have visitors, it is absolutely one of the biggest attractions of the day when we get to come in here and feed Elvis. But of course, here today, no one but us, but we are going to do the exact same thing for you here on this live stream. Now there's Dan tapping that water again, and if we zoom in a bit on Elvis, you'll see he was on the surface, he's just gone back under. And this is very typical of a wild crocodile. Whilst Elvis is living here in captivity, he still displays a lot of those wild croc traits. Of course, out in the wild, a big saltwater croc like Elvis would be living in dark, murky water. And so if he was just a few feet under the water like he is here now, you would have no idea, Dan would have no idea that a big male saltwater croc was sitting just a few meters from him. And of course, in a wild situation, that would be incredibly dangerous. You would have no idea, and by the time you do figure out that there is a crocodile right there, it's generally way too late. You can see he's cracked the surface now with his eyes, and also his ears and his nasal disc right on the end of the snout. So basically, he's just popped up for a little look, a see, a smell, and he's gonna head back around the other side of the pool now. And I think, to be honest, he probably knows what's coming, and that is a lovely big bit of food. Now, of course, crocodiles, they're not eating their veggies. They're carnivorous. So in the wild, a saltwater croc like Elvis would be feeding almost exclusively on a medium to large sized mammal. So something like a kangaroo, wallaby, even something right up to the size of a horse or a water buffalo would be an absolute ideal food item for Elvis. When they're a little bit smaller, of course, they can't just go straight from the egg to preying on a huge water buffalo. They start out with things like frogs and small fish, maybe small water birds. But as I mentioned, a big croc like Elvis, he's not going to bother with any of those. He wants a big meal. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the camera, I'm going to get in nice and close, and we are going to watch Dan feed Elvis right now. What you're about to see is Dan, again, tapping the edge of the water. It's got a lovely large bit of meat here, a few feathers on there. And Elvis should see that, and it should entice him to come right to the water's edge. He's going to see Dan as well. Not only is that chicken wing a nice morsel, but Dan would certainly be as well. And so Dan is going to tap a little bit more. Elvis will come right to the edge. He's going to see the food, see Dan, wind up his tail. Oh, and there he goes. Straight down the hatch. He doesn't waste any time. Even got a slight little burp there at the end. He's flushing a bit of water out. But it was over very quickly. Generally, we try and get a few slaps of the jaw out of him, but Dan was a bit slow there today. But
No.
getting slow in your old age. But fortunately, we do have another bit of food for Elvis, and it's even bigger. I think this is going to excite him that little bit more. So whilst I keep the camera on Elvis,
Come on.
Dan's going to bring him around again. It's got a lovely big fish there. I forgot to mention fish before as part of the crocodile's diet, or maybe I said it, but of course, something that a large saltwater croc like this may every now and again capture. The saltwater crocodile is the larger of the two crocodiles found in northern Australia. The other is known as the freshwater crocodile, and they typically are much smaller. A really big male freshie, as we call them, could get to maybe 2.5, 3 meters in length. And that species is almost exclusively a fish-eating crocodile. They eat a lot of fish. But I'm sure today Elvis, even though he does like to eat all sorts of things, he's going to certainly like the look of that fish. He's going to come out for it, and Dan's just going to kind of toss it to the side of his head. And if we're really lucky, he may even crunch it around a bit. Fish are, of course, quite bony, so he might need to chomp it around a few times, and we'll see those jaws in action.
We're good. Got to make up for that first.
Abysmal. Here he comes.
I'm just going to throw it next to his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of.
Through the crystal clear water, we keep the pool very clean so that, of course, all of our visitors can see Elvis when they do get to come to the park and see him. But of course, it makes it a bit safer for us as well. We don't want to be feeding a crocodile in dark, murky water where you can't exactly see what's going on. Oh, there you go. Oh. All right. How good was that? How you feeling, Dan?
Yeah, first one a bit average, second one much better. Put my mask back on, but yeah, now it's time to knock off, I think. Thank you. See ya.
Well, that was Dan and Elvis. Beautiful little pop of the jaws there at the end. Saltwater crocodiles do have the strongest bite force of any animal on the face of the earth. So what you just heard there was about 3,500 pounds, maybe even 4,000 pounds per square inch closing jaw pressure. And I tell you what, I am glad that was a fish in those jaws and not Dan's leg or my leg. That would be a horrible, horrible day at work. Now I might just finish up here on Elvis's head. We do have these live streams running each and every weekday, so keep tuned in every single weekday because we are going to look at something different. I believe tomorrow I'm going to be back. I'm actually going to be talking to you a little bit about funnel web spiders. So something a little different to Elvis, but potentially just as dangerous. Now, to finish up, guys, a lot of you are asking how you can assist us here at the park while we are closed. And one of the really great things you can do is get involved with the activity pack that we've put together for the kids while they are at home. Some fantastic activities for them. But also, you can do something really great with your Discover voucher, your New South Wales Discover voucher. If you head to our Reptile Park website, reptilepark.com.au, you can see all the details there. You can basically, donate your Discover voucher, and we will take that and we will supply it to some kids in need. We assist them, and you get a voucher at the end of it as well, a bit of a discount. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed that. There was some nice bit of action there from Elvis. Slapped those jaws together. Stay tuned. We hope you're all staying safe at home, and we will see you next time. Thank you guys. Bye.